team is out for the Ross County game up in Dingwall today. It's going to be a cracking game, as always is up in Ross County. It is that smaller ground, a nice compact ground, but the team is Schmeichel, Johnson, Trusty, Scales, Valle, McGregor, Hattati, Engels, Kuhn, Maida and Adam Ida is on from the start. I get to browser, I need to sort this. Why is that doing that? Sort that later. Shift. Nope. Oh, 2 seconds to that. There we go. Sorted the time out. Who knows what happens at the time. Anyway, let's jump into the comment section and see who is on the live. The team is out, as you see on the screen. And perfect. So, first up was Stephen Johnston. Much love to you, Stephen Johnston. Mr. Quinn's in the house. Hail, Baz. Stephen Johnston's saying hi to Paul Baird is in the house. PS3 Retro TV, cracking little channel. You need to check him out. He's in the house. Looking forward to seeing what Alex can do. He looked good when he came on at Dortmund. I'm looking forward to see what he can do from the start of the game today. It's a massive game to him. David Bell's in the house. Hail, boys and girls. Liz Donnelly's in the house. Morning, Baz. Mark is in the house. I feel Ida hat-trick in my bones, says Mark. Jim F says afternoon. Baz, it's still morning. It is still morning, isn't it? I need to double check there. Oh, yeah, it's a 12 o'clock start. Gillingham Celtic says Nick. Big Chewy says morning again. Baz, like I said earlier, he's going for 6-0 today. James is going for 5-0. Hail, my friend, your brother Paul. Says one. Connell says, hail, good vibes from the Highlands of Scotland, and to everyone in the chat, 6-0 today. He reckons it's going to be 6-0 today. A lot of people are going for high score lines. I think we need to watch. But then again, St Johnstone had a go at us a little bit. We had a fantastic scoreline against them. And then we had the Falkirk game. Falkirk had a go at us. And we struggled the first half against Falkirk, let's be fair. And teams will have... That's not went a-missing on teams when they face Celtic. You know, it's not went a-missing to other coaches. It's like, just have a go at them. This team aren't that good at the back, they'll be saying. Look, they've got a youngster in from Spain again. He'll no fancy being up in Inverness today. Young Spanish lad. And then, let's face it, we've got Trusty again. Can we trust Trusty not to make any silly mistakes today? Can we rely on the ever trustworthy Liam Scales to keep Trusty right? And then you've got Alistair Johnston, who has made the game after his little back issue that he's had over the last couple of weeks. On the bench, we have Sinisalo Palma, who made the video this morning. Palma wants to stay at Celtic. He doesn't want loaned out in January. He's been taken out of the international team to try and regain his full fitness because he doesn't think he's match fit, and his international coach doesn't think he's match fit either, so they left him out for him to get fit and fight for his place at Celtic. Could only be a good thing if you ask me. Kyogo's on the bench. He will feel that he has goals in him, but there's big defenders and up in Ross County, and there's not going to be much room for running in behind, which Kyogo does like to do. I don't think that we're going to get much chance to pull them out to the halfway line much. I think it's going to be a case of they'll sit up with a 5 at the back, maybe even 6 at the back at times, but it will be the low block that we know, and they will try and hit Celtic on the counter-attack also. Ross County will definitely have a go this afternoon. Yang's on the bench. Young Luke McCow, he's not young, he's 26, but he's young to us. He's young to us older guys. He's on the bench. Big Rocky's on the bench, Bernardo's on the bench, Forrest is on the bench, and Tony Ralston is on the bench. Gone from the bench is Stephen Welsh, who did make the bench in the Champions League game. Stephen Welsh must be sitting thinking, what do I need to do to just even get onto the bench, considering Rocky's only the real defender. And that could be a worry if we were to get an injury or two. Let's hope that we don't, but we only have real one centre defender on the pitch. Brendan Rodgers is obviously going to change it up at half time, maybe even the 60-minute mark. When you look at the players that are on the bench, I reckon the first to come off might be, it's a hard one. Could be Adam Ida, comes off for Kyogo in the first half. But he does have a full supplement of wingers. He's got Palma, he's got Yang. In the midfield, he's got more than capable Luke McCowan and Paulo Bernardo. Which one of those two, or will the two of them get some game time up in Dingwall this afternoon? It's a long way to go out to just sit on the bus and sit on the bench. But it is a squad game. And I fully expect the Celtic manager to make changes in the second half. And it's never easy. Ass kicking incoming. Celtic will want to set the tone again, says Mike Powers. 2-1, tough game after Europe is always. It is a tough game, but is it hangover or is it hate? Hangover or hate? Celtic will hate the result that they got, and they want to go out and prove that they are more than capable. And let's face it, Dortmund had a hangover. Yes, Dortmund had a hangover this weekend. They got beat 2-1 by Union Berlin. Celtic will not want that to happen. Could you imagine going into Europe and winning 7-1 and then coming back to domestic league football and getting beat 2-1 away from home? Well, please pray to God that doesn't happen to Celtic this afternoon. Let's hope that Celtic come back and set their stall out really quick. And with Adam Ida bullying their defence. Hopefully we can get up there and get an early goal to settle the nerves of the Celtic fans, because if we don't, we're in for a hard game, and it's always a hard game up in Ross County. I've been up there many times, and the first half never ever really goes to plan, and they do try and have a go up in Ross County, but Celtic do have that point to prove. Lancaster sees he's going for 3-1. We know County away is a tough place. They will sit deep. Yeah, they will. And it's that tight a pitch. It's really hard to get round them. You know, people are going to say, it's side-to-side passing and stuff. But they're going to set up in such a way that's going to make it difficult for Celtic to beat them. It's as simple as that. But we do think that we have goals in us. And there's a lot of people going for high scores. Grab Boy is going for 3-1. It's going to be scrappy, but it'll be 3-1, he says. In my opinion, McCowan will get a game in the second half. Paulo will be rested. Will Paulo be rested? Does he really need rested? He will play in the under-21s for Portugal during the international break. So maybe the manager is right by just giving Paulo Bernardo some off time. He is one player that definitely will go away. And you've got to remember, the last time that Paulo Bernardo was away with Paulo Bernardo is the under-21 Portuguese captain, and he scored on his last outing. So he's a player that will definitely play when he is away with Portugal next week. Your boy Martin's going for 5-0. Dortmund probably hoping to play Celtic every week, says Craigie. Don't say that at all. But someone's digging their bed. Siva says Angry McGregor hat-trick. An Angry McGregor hat-trick. McGregor scores always a cracking goal from outside. And remember, the last goal that McGregor scored from outside the box came from a corner. Yes, it was a well-manoeuvred move from the corner. It was a quick little 1-2 pass in the corner. The ball was then played out to McGregor just on the outside of the box, and McGregor puts it in past the near post, which was a fantastic strike, and it was one straight off the training grounds. Can Celtic get one straight off the training ground today? I hope so, and it settles the nerves, because it is going to be some game. Peter Larkins, Paul Larkin, I've done it again every time. Top of the morning, Baz. The team picked 4-0. Told you yesterday. Big Ida, 2 goals. Baz, did you see the? Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Italians. Yeah, I'm not talking about the Italians. That's a nervous laugh. We're not talking about the. Really? I'm so glad you dropped that there, Doug. Your boy Martin's going for 5-0. Murray is going for 4-1 Celtic. Desmond Donald is going for 3-0. Amazing Arnie first goal. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff. Yes, it is a 12 o'clock kickoff. It is a 12 o'clock kickoff. Kyle. Baz, it will be 4-0 to us. Clean sheet, Casper. Will it be clean sheet Kasper Schmeichel at the end of the game? I hope and pray that he is, because he'll go down in the history books as a keeper that has kept the most clean sheets. Statistically, Here's one that we have been speaking about before on the channel. Statistically, this team is now better than the team of Invincibles. At this stage of the season, yes, at this stage of the season, this team is better statistically than the Invincibles. What does that say for the season ahead on domestic football? You've got to remember that the Invincibles are crap in Europe as well, so let's not worry about European football. But statistically, in the domestic league front, this team is better than the Invincibles. They've scored more goals than the Invincibles, and they've kept more clean sheets than the Invincibles, which is fantastic for this time round, for this group of players, because this group of players will want to go on and make their own history. When you look at the team and you see that Scales is probably the most experienced at the back for Celtic, trusty. He was off the ball, but then everyone was off the ball, so don't take anything from the Dortmund game. He proved that he has some good positional play. I think he sometimes, Trusty, sits a little bit further back than Scales, which I don't like, because it's usually Scales sitting further back than Cameron Carter-Vickers, and Cameron Carter-Vickers is just a little bit in front of Scales. I don't like it when it's the other way around, because I think that the offside trap may be set for that one. Trusty and Scales, they should do fine for this game. Let's hope that young Alex can have the game of his career so far for Celtic, and has a couple of good. I'm going to take young Alex Valle to have an assist today. I think that he'll get an assist. McGregor, will he score? Will Hatate score? Will Arne Engels get his first for Celtic from outplay? Never mind penalty taken. We all know that Arne Engels is the new Celtic penalty taker, but can he get his first goal from play? And then you've got Kun, Maida and Adam Ida up front. That is a formidable, absolutely formidable front line. You've got to say, Inverness will be sitting going, oh well, let's have a go. Should have started Palma and Yang and Rocky, says one guy. Really? Wow. It just shows you the different opinions that Celtic fans do have, and this is on Twitter. Michael says we should have started Palma, Yang and Rocky. And then one guy's really upset that Scales is playing. Why do you keep using two left-footed centre-backs? Surely Rocky isn't that bad. Rocky's not match fit. When are people going to understand the modern day football? If he's not 100% match fit, you're not going to bring him on. Bring him on in the second half. Get him back up to speed. He's not match game fit. You can't bring a player on this far into the season that isn't matched. We never do it. No manager will ever do it, but Brendan Rodgers is getting it tight online to bring in Rocky, who isn't match fit and who's been injured since pre-season, remember. He didn't even get a full pre-season. That's why he's not playing, because he's never had the fitness got up to speed at pre-season. He needs to get his fitness up. He's in the team. He's ahead of Welsh, but when it comes to it, he's not match fit. That's how he's not playing. But anyway, let's see what else. A fella we use, don't speak to me, said Aidan. And his name's Aidan at Aidan Celtic. Ida Johnson Scales to be carded. Oh, Jesus. We've learned nothing from Dortmund. Too open. We've learned nothing from Dortmund. Too open. Come on. Is this team too open? Can't he fathom why Rocky doesn't get a game? Says Celtic babe. It's because he's not match fit. He's not played a single game this season. He played 1.5 games in pre-season. Wanted Rocky, Mr. Celtic. Again, Brendan, you're losing the mind. If Johnson gets injured again, he'll miss out for the rest of the season with a bad back, I promise you. Oh my goodness. Some people are unhappy, aren't they? Ross County are definitely scoring. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. Hope to see McCowan get a start. I could understand that. 21 or 20-0 or else. 3 wingers on the bench. Yeah, that's because the wingers are going to get changed about today. Some people... that centre-half pair, Jesus, Twitter's a scream, isn't it? Anyway, let's get back to YouTube and see what people are saying on YouTube. Just get the win and clean sheet, Baz. Feels like an afternoon. I've been up since 5:45 a.m. Says Jim. I hope you're at the game if you've been up since that time. Mr. Quincy going for 4-0. Tight first half, but the game goes on, goals will come. It always is the same, Les. It always is the same up in Dingwall. It's always a tight first half, and They have chances. They always get chances. Don't expect it to be any less today. Gary's going Adam Ida for a brace, Kyogo for one, and Kalmak for one. That means Kyogo's going to come in the second half, which he will. I'm expecting at least 4 changes in the second half from the Celtic manager. I think crossballs and long-range shots will win it today, say Desmond. The subs that will come on in the second half will be Kyogo, Forrest, McCowan. That's what I think. I don't think Forrest will come on. I don't think he will. I think that, going by the noise coming out of South America, if Lewis Palma deciding that he wants to stay and fight for his place, I think you actually might get Lewis Palma starting to come on late on in the game. I'm talking about the 80th minute time. I think you'll get Lewis Palma just edging his way back into this team, just to show the manager, turn around and say, there's been many Celtic players that have left this season to go out on loan because they're not getting game time. For Lewis Palma to turn around and he's not getting game time, to not have spat the dummy out, and not, even though he put what he did on social media, saying that he believes in himself and it was he will come good and he has that inner positivity within him. He wants to prove it to the manager. The good thing is, for me, and it's Lewis Palma could have spat the dummy out and he could have been away in December, could have been away in January. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to go and play football. He doesn't want to go and get game time somewhere else. He wants to stay and fight for his place. And that's when you know you've got a player and a half. And that's what Brendan Rodgers will like about him, because he would have that ability and that in himself, that self-confidence to know that he can turn it around, rather than say, do you know what, I'm not getting game time, I'm going to take the huff, I want to go and play somewhere else because I'm not going to get on for 60, 70 minutes. You know, he's not that type of player, which is thankfully, because we've had many players said Haksabanovic, look what happened to him. He went on social media, he spat the dummy out. He's now regretting. He's now done interviews over the last couple of weeks regretting what he said on social media, because that ultimately led to him being loaned out by Celtic and he was never to be seen or saw again in the Celtic strip, and he has massive regrets about that. That will not have went past the one and only Lewis Palma. He would have seen that and he would have known exactly what's went on. So fighting for his place and being on the bench can only be a positive for Celtic as far as I am concerned. I'm going to jump back into the comments. I think it'll be a big scoreline today. Doug's got grass fucking all over me. Oh, shit. Agree with dropping Taylor. And Taylor's injured, that's why he's dropped. Peter Larkin says, I have a little cousin called Paul Larkin. He lives in Liverpool, big Celtic man. Well, there's a Paul Larkin that writes a lot of Celtic books. And he's a good guy. He is a good guy. He comes from Edinburgh. Stephen is going for 4-0 today. He's going for a 4-0 win. Big Rabi says he wanted to see McCowan on for Kalmak. That's never going to happen because Kalmak's your captain. You might see it in the second half. When if we're 3-0 up in the second half, you will then see Luke McCowan come on for Callum McGregor. Stats mean enough all, says Lancaster82. Well, tell that to modern day football managers, because stats mean everything, because that's how they judge players. And it's all about stats in this day and age. So it is all about horses for courses and opinions. And you've all got your opinions. He's already up there with his dad, Hail Casper. I don't think he's up there with his dad as a legendary keeper for Celtic. He's a good keeper for Celtic, but after 6 games and that massive defeat, I don't think he's anywhere up there with the likes of the Holy Goalie, for instance. I think if people were to look at Kasper Schmeichel and the Holy Goalie, they would say, it's the Holy Goalie all day long. He's a Celtic legend. Kasper Schmeichel isn't a Celtic legend yet. And I do say yet. Hail from Saigon. It's Ray in Saigon. Been trying to avoid reading or listening to the Dortmund game, but time to get back to it. Let's start doing what we're doing. We'll take it on the chin and learn from it. Exactly, Ray. That's what we do. Baz, you're sounding like your next word's a moral victory. No, it's not a moral victory. We will have a fantastic victory today. And my words would never sound like a moral victory, because Scales is a gift from God. He is that. Kasper is now up there with the greats. No, he's not. How can Kasper Schmeichel be up there with the greats after 6 games at Celtic? Have a word with yourself. He's not up there with the greats just yet. Just yet. I will say just yet. But you can't put him up there with the likes of Paddy Bonner and the holy goalie, to name but two of my idols at Celtic over the years. You cannot put him up there with yet, with only 6 games to go. He may become a Celtic legend. He will become a history maker. He is a history maker just now. There's no undoubted word about that. But to put him up there as legendary status, come on, he's not a Hall of Famer. Morning, Fenians. Johnson is not injured. It's just his heart for the club. Palma to come on for the last 20 minutes, hopefully, and put his heart and soul in Celtic. Paul Bear says, Jaren, let's see what happens in Italy. Yeah, I know, let's see what happens in Italy. Mark says, you're spot on about Palma, Baz, and his opinion, says Mark. Like us, see when we've got in January, Palma will go out on loan. No, he'll not. Don't think he will. Know the noises that's coming out of South America. Anyway, I started off McCowan instead of Engels. I started McCowan instead of Engels. Interesting. And Engels is your £11 million trophy signing. He's up there. He's the guy that's been brought in to do it at the top level. He's the guy that's been brought in to prove that he's a match winner. Whereas Luke McCowan has been brought in to maybe take over from Callum McGregor in a couple of years' time. But will he be too late in his career at that point to take over from Callum McGregor? Will he be experienced enough to take over from Callum McGregor? And will he have had the European experience to take over from Callum McGregor? Sarah says, on that one football, Celtic has lined up a 4-4-1-1. Can you not change that up to change the formation? Celtic aren't going to line up 4-4-1-1. Not a chance. It'll be 4-3-3. Celtic never line up 4-4-1-1. It'll be 4-3-3. Forrest in the Scotland squad. I've no idea. Don't look at the Scotland squad because, let's face it, Scotland aren't right. First 15 minutes will set the scene for the rest of the game today. We must start well. Yes, said Pint of Guinness. I think the first team, if we don't score in the first 15 minutes, we always struggle in the first half, and then Brendan Rodgers gets them in for a right old rollicking. Get them a right old rollicking. Port Job Express saying Lanky's in the house. Is he? I've never seen him. The greatest Celtic keeper of all time has to be Barkas. Oh, Jesus. The holy goalie is a donkey. I think Casper is their next holy goalie. Oh, jeez, pops, man. That's like saying Roy Keane was a Celtic legend. Oh, my goodness. Back to 1967 on the subs amount, Baz. How many seasons does it take for a keeper to become a legend? I got to say at least 3 seasons. I don't think it'll take 3 seasons for it to become a legend. Mike says, Baz, you're talking pish. Jasper is a legend. Who's Jasper? Jasper? You mean Casper? Casper the Ghost. Jasper the Ghost. He's not a living legend. It's a Celtic player. How can he be a Celtic legend? Go and tell me how he could be a Celtic legend. He's not a Celtic legend. He may be a legend for his national team, he may be a legend for other teams, but he's not a Celtic legend. And that's what we're talking about. There's no way he's a Celtic legend as yet. So anyway, 11 million is nothing in football, says Chris D. Yes, but it is big money in Scottish football, Chris. Big Rabbi says he's hearing Yang time at Celtic is fast becoming the end of a new winger. In January is 9 million plus. We'll wait and see. I'm not going to add to the speculation because we're nowhere near transfer speculation time yet. And I've seen a few folk have started transfer videos, and I'm like, you can't even think about doing transfer videos just now because we're that far away from the window that it is Celtic have been known to change their mind on players, and players could get injured between now and then. So I'm not going to comment on any transfer speculation until we get into January. Because let's face it, well, the end of December at least, there's far too much football to be played between now and then to just talk about pure speculation. Pure speculation. Anyway, Mark says Kasper is definitely on the right course to become a legend, but Boric was the one and only keeper for me who I felt safe with when it came to penalties. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Kasper's just let into penalties. Says Mark. Ray says, I think a few folk on here have a definition of legend. Legend in my book is someone who has played at least a couple of seasons, embedded themselves into the club and produced class after class in that time, says Ray coming in from the other end of the planet. In Saigon. Mr. Quinn says, I'm the GOAT. If I wish. Who really cares about Clark Scotland? Nobody. Even the Tartan Army don't. They're in love with them, aren't they? Jim says McCowan's the type of midfielder we need at the moment. His skill is full. He's strong, and in tackle he needs the game. He reads the game very well. He needs game time. He does need game time, and I think that once we go up a couple of goals, you'll then get him coming on. Stephen Johnston is saying hi to folks. Sarah is saying, aye, that's what I'm saying. Celtic don't do 4-4-1-1. I think it's a massive mistake on that. Yeah, it will be. And Keane is a traitor. Deserted the team when we need him most. Never forgotten. Any update on CCV injury? No, until he's out until after the international break. So he will be back. Hopefully, Celtic are aiming for the Aberdeen game for him to be back. The January transfer window will look after itself. Yes, it will, Paul. There won't be a lot of movement in January from Celtic. There maybe be one or two players that go in and out. But it will be players that are not happy that they're not getting game time. It will be players that are not happy that they're getting game time. And the fact that we trimmed the squad that much in the last transfer window, I can't see there being a lot of movement by Celtic in the next one. Jim says, I hope Stephen Johnston is good. I'm old enough to remember and seen Ronnie Simpson. Now that's a goalkeeping legend. Now that's way before my time, but it's definitely a goalkeeping legend. It's amazing that we can, as a Scottish club, that we can afford to spend 11 million on a player, and we can do it without screwing our fans. Carly is in the house. Trusty in scales position alongside CCVV, and then judge how good he is. Kissing his toe better. Don't even talk about kissing toes on this today. All the best times. Right, anyway, so just a recap on the team. What time is it? Yeah, because I'm heading out to watch the game. You've got Schmeichel, Johnston, Trusty and Scales at you've got Johnston, Trusty, Scales and young Alex Baye at the back. You've then got McGregor, Hatate, Engels in that midfield position. And on the wing up front, you've got Kuhn and Adam Ida. I expect both them to be brought off at some point this afternoon. I think the manager may change the complete front three at some point to give the other players in game time up in Ross County. Will he take McGregor off and bring young Luke McCowan on, or will he take Arne Engels on and bring on Paulo Bernardo? That's for the manager to decide in the second half. I think that Paulo Bernardo will be rested because he will definitely be going away and playing with the Portuguese under-21s who he scored with the last time he was away with under-21s, and he is the under-21 Portuguese captain. You're not under-21 Portuguese captain if you're a bad player, are you? So will Paulo Bernardo be rested for young Luke McCowan to come on for the one and only Callum McGregor later on into the second half? And that means Alistair Johnston will get the captain's armband again. Once again, the captain's armband will be passed to the one and only Ali Johnston. There has been over 685 people on the live so far. Thank you to everyone who rum opened and for brekkie. There you go. Baz, heard you were in school. Nope. No idea what you're talking about, Mike. No idea what you're talking about. Anyway, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. And we'll see you on the video after the game. And on that note,